My question to you is, as a leader, what are the secrets? I want the tips. I want the nuggets. What are the tricks? How do I lead amidst all that negativity and adversity? Thank you, sir.
Well, I don't think there are any tricks or shortcuts or that there is any magic. After all, as people, as human beings, we are going to do what is humanly possible. You cannot do things out of that scope. But I guess with every individuals, with people of countries and so on, they've got to look at the challenges before them. We have, as you said, we have had tragedies of different kind. I mean, there was tragedy our country faced 27 years ago. But it is not just a tragedy that just happened. It really has a history to it. It is one of those things that only happens and exposes the history of the problem. And the problem that built up over many years and then ended up in that kind of situation of genocide. In fact, just like even this pandemic we talk about, the COVID-19, which has affected the whole world, one thing one needs to observe carefully. We see problems associated with COVID-19. But if you observe carefully, COVID-19 has also exposed our weaknesses, things that were not right, things that were not in place, or the thinking that has not been operationalized so that when a tragedy like this or a pandemic like this happens, then you simply deal with it the way you must deal with it. You find people are taken aback, it's by surprise, it's something that is insurmountable. But really all it does is exposes weaknesses in countries, in societies, in how things are managed. I mean, one quick example is, in our case, Africa, meaning or Rwanda, we discovered that we haven't made sufficient investments in public health. That comes out straight. And then you start even wondering, you say, why didn't we make the investments all along before? Or we did not think about, which we are now beginning to think about, manufacturing of vaccines, of different pharmaceutical needs, because we always waited and we are happy to keep receiving them from abroad, if I may. So now, therefore, to your point, back to your point, the tragedy that befell our country in 1904 wasn't just something that happened either by accident or by coincidence of some kind, and therefore we have to deal with it. No, we have a history that over decades that led up to that. So when dealing with the problem, like that one, let's say in Rwanda, there are choices to make. First, you define the problem, as therefore give it that history. And that means quickly that you've got to think of, how do I address the root causes, those actually problems that led to this to happen? Even before you think about dealing with the actual situation itself there and then. You are already thinking about how did it happen? How did we get here? And then from there, you've got to make a choice. Can we change the situation? Can we do things differently and avoid that history, and therefore also avoid that kind of problem happening again in the future? So that's how we approached it. But of course, again, all of a sudden, not everyone is going to think like that. So that's how it takes people, leaders. And leaders also are not going to address such problems alone. You've got to create a kind of infrastructure that is going to bring in everybody, because everybody is affected. In our situation, everybody was affected. So it is everybody that is going to be involved with better understanding of what our problem, or what caused our problem, or what our problem is, and then work together to address it. So in our particular case, it has been the politics, it has been the economics, it has been how socially people relate. Therefore, we had to take a hard look at this problem and face the hard things we had to deal with, and deal with it without excuses. Yes, if we had excuses, if we were to look for excuses, we would have failed. In fact, already people had cast us as a failed state. It was a failed situation. People did not give us a chance. They thought there was no tomorrow for Rwanda. It is gone. So, but we had to rise to the occasion and deal with the matter. And I guess other people dealing with their own problems can also be successful or make good progress in dealing with them.
Thank you.